Hello guys, how are you doing? Hope you are all doing good. Today I am here to give you few tips and tricks about USCMA essay question sections. Recently the exam I faced it. I felt that will be helpful for you all to share. So that's the reason I am making a small video for you to understand how those questions were and how you also can easily face or write these exams and score high marks in this. So hope you will find this video very helpful. So please watch the video until the end to get a maximum out of it. Don't skip it. So I am sharing very final details about the essay and also more about the exam related information for you to easily consume it. Yeah. So without further delay, let's get into the video now.
The very important thing all of us should know before going for exam is what are the updates or the recent changes happened for your respective exam. You might had prepared well and you are not aware about a certain changes. What will happen? There might be a little challenge or a hiccup for you to manage your exam well. So before going to sit for your exam, I would recommend you to thoroughly understand if there are any changes in examination requirements, be it carrying your valid ID proofs or any changes in the software of the Prometric that you are going to take, or any other local situations or global situations impacting for that matter. Why do you think all these are important for you to know before writing an exam? Because at times these Prometric centers may not allow you to write an exam if you don't carry a valid ID proofs. And other things, if you already know what are the changes or the recent changes, happening or happened recently for your exam, that will help you to prepare well in advance, and that will not give you a pressure, free of mind, where you can easily attempt your exam with pleasant mind. And if you know a software change requirements, if you practice in Prometric simulator at least once or twice, you are familiar with Prometric software, how to navigate, how to use it, how to filter the various things, how to get the information that you need to complete your exam. A lot of times you might need to write the information from Prometric screen to the scratch sheet provided to you. What happens during that time? You need to read the question, and whatever you understood, you think that is required for you to solve a sum, you will tend to pick those numbers onto the paper. During the time, don't you think that that is simply taking your extra time of putting on the paper? Already exam has a limited time, or if you are provided with a more time, you are more happy to answer questions at ease. To save this time, what are the things that you need to do it? How do you manage this time? So I'm going to share all those tips in a separate video. Now, my purpose of this current video is to share quickly about the part 1 essay sections and few tips to ace only those essays. Okay. So there are, if you log into your IMA profile, which will give you a lot of information under your profile where you can see all the, if there is any changes in a testing center, all the latest changes will be available here. Testing center update. In this case, let's look into this CMA exam test center updates updated on April 27. That is the latest update available. If you have any communication prior to this date, I would recommend you to go through this and understand the latest changes. And change in ID policy. Now there is an ID policy has been slightly updated. So be aware on this ID policy also. What is this ID policy? This is the identification proof that one has to carry for the examination. Then education transcript submission. Don't worry at this stage. You still can do this later as well. So what is something urgent for now? Let's cover that. And updated on September 1st, 2022. This is a very recent update. So this says regarding COVID-19 pandemic, what are the things that candidates should follow? Okay. And also saying Prometric has resumed biometric procedures. Remote testing options is available. Change to ID policy, education transcript submission. These are the major changes that you can see in IMA website. Along with that, I just wanted to share you a few other things. The essay portion of part 1 examination. Your part 1 examination contains 2 essays. Hope that you are aware about it, correct? Not just 2 essays, it's a 100 MCQs and 2 essays, isn't it? Okay, there is a content specification outline given by IMA, which is the authorized board to conduct CMA exams. So this information is again available in IMA website. Those who need this document, just comment so that I can share with you, or I'll try to provide the link somewhere in the description. Check out for it. So the content specification explained in this document for both the parts, part 1 and 2, which is a common thing. So you just go through this document clearly so that you will understand what are the expectations from the board, from a candidate, and from the training institutes as well. Okay, excuse me. And as I go down, you can see that there are, okay, here is the main content has been explained for us to understand along with the weights. You might already gone through the weights and the level of testing, but I'm going to give you a clear understanding or a view why you should be thorough with each of these levels. Let's go through this. In this case, part 1, your financial planning, performance, and analytics contains 6 different sub major topics, which has been tested for 500 marks overall, out of which 100 MCQs and 2 essay questions will be tested with an overall duration of 4 hours. How should you prepare for your examinations? Is there any particular guarantee that essay question should be tested only from particular these sections? There is no such guidelines given by IMA again. It can be tested from anywhere. So it can be tested from the 20% weight or 15% weight from any of these sections. Don't be under assumption that because B and C in this case covers, section B and C covers 20% of weightage, you might expect, or there will be an essay only from this section. At times, you can see an essay question from section A as well, or it can be from section D or E or F as well. All right. So how should you get prepared for any kind of scenario to be able to answer your essay question perfectly? For that, let's understand a little more in this. Here you see the weight along with the level they are expecting. If you look at the level for all the major topics under part 1 is a level C. None of the sections required other than level C. What does it mean? Level C, where does it stand? And what is the level of knowledge required for us to gain? Let's go back a step and understand little more about this level C. If we look at content specification overview document released by IMA, there are 3 levels in your examination, which means your exam can be tested max to level C. Why am I saying max level C, not beyond that? We don't know what is level D, but let's look into what is level A expectation. Level A expectation requiring the skill levels of knowledge and comprehension. And level B requiring the skill levels of knowledge, comprehension, excuse me, application and analysis. Level C requiring all skill levels of A and B. Along with that, you would require synthesis and evaluation. When you are ready with the level C of all the subtopics which are tested, then you are well prepared for your exam. So make sure you prepare from each topic under level C, not just that you understand the concept and you will be able to explain the topic in the sense you define it or explain, list it, that may not help. So you need beyond that. So how would you know what level again I should know for knowledge level, comprehension level, or application analysis or synthesis and evaluation levels? For that, let's go a step further to deeply understand what exactly these terms means. Here again, okay, in order to more clearly define the topical knowledge required by a candidate, varying levels of coverage for the treatment of major topics of the content specification outline has been identified and defined. The cognitive skills that a successful candidate should possess and that should be tested on the examinations can be defined as follows. Knowledge, as we see in that in the level A, right? Knowledge and comprehension falls under your level A. If you are able to get this level of knowledge in that particular subtopic overall, then you are good with level A. So what does it mean? So knowledge, which requires you to identify the things and define them or list them. For example, how many types of controls are there? You just need to list them, types of controls. You don't need to explain more than that. Okay. So then comprehension level. Beyond to knowledge level, what is required here? You should be able to distinguish between A and B, what they are asking. For example, in transfer pricings, which method is more profitable or which method is more suitable? You need to distinguish between them with one or more characters of it. How you are going to distinguish by your understanding levels. Then application level. This application level means This is again beyond your knowledge comprehension, which require you to demonstrate, predict, solve your sums, modify some data and interpret from there and relate that data to the scenario it has been asked. That's a level of application and analysis. Again, on top of this, you would be able to differentiate from the techniques or the methods or whatever we are comparing or provided, and estimate or the judgments which you may require to take it, and order. Synthesis required for you to combine data using with multiple tables or multiple paragraphs and formulate it or revise and prepare a different thing. Let's say you might require to prepare a flexible budget. You are provided with actual and static budget information, and you are asked to prepare a flexible budget where you just need to revise the numbers from here to make it a flexible budget. And evaluation level again, which require you to criticize, justify, conclude evaluation. What is your recommendations in that particular scenario? Let's say the CEO of the company has taken certain decision with respect to ongoing business. And if you are the CEO or if you are in the board of directors situation, what would be your action or what would you recommend for that scenario? So that's a level of knowledge required for evaluation. Okay, so if you understand knowledge levels and these three levels, what examination is going to test, then I believe you will prepare the level required for each section. For part 1, at least, you would require level C for all the subtopics. So hope this gives you an idea about each subtopic, how much you need to prepare, what are the things you need to exclude, what are the things to be included. So if you are under impression that I can do some selective study, may not really help you to become an expert in the concepts that you are supposed to prepare. The core competencies of CMA or the intention of IMA to assign these competences or test these competences is not just to give you a certificate. This is more beyond that, to make you industry ready when you are done with your CMA. So I would recommend you to go through each and every topic. Don't skip any topic from your part 1 completely, and make sure you gain level C knowledge in all the topics. When you are done with your all the preparation to the level C, then what are the other things that you should be aware? Correct? You might have that question, what are the things that you should be aware? Okay, at least for the part 1, I would like to give or share those 2 questions, this testing window, how it was tested. Let's look into this, right? No. Before that, I would like to give some more idea about your testing pattern. As you already know that there will be 2 essay questions with sub questions again. Majority of the time, there will be 1 full page length, one page of your essay question, which you may need to go through, understand, then answer these questions. Right? So how many questions does each essay contains? Approximately 5 to 7 questions. So put together, if you take both the essay questions, not more than 13 or 14 questions. It's less than that. So max 10 to 12 is what in overall you can expect from both the questions. So what happened when I was giving my exam, as soon as I entered into essay sections, the first happiness is, wow, I'm able to score at least 50% or more than that in MCQs. That's the first happiness feeling. In that impression, when I was looking into the essay window, I got shocked and I lost all the happiness of what I had from MCQs. Why I got shocked here? You might ask that, right? What happened? As soon as the essay window loaded, I see that there were 11 sub questions. Oh my God. For a first essay question, 11 sub questions. Let me move to the second part and see second essay question and see how many more are there. If there is 11, how should I plan my 30 minutes of time to answer these 11 questions? And how many more are there in the second one? So let's try to look in overall. What is the number of questions given in sub questions? Then you can plan your time accordingly. Upon checking both the essay questions, for my surprise, that's all questions that I need to answer from both the essay questions. There was a separation for a part 2, first question and second question, but that was not clearly visible when I look at for the first time. But as and when I moved through the sub questions, then I realized those 11 questions put together for both the essays, not just for one. So then what I did quickly, I just went through each sub question to know what they are expecting. We have seen that what is the level of testing they will do for each section, each essay question or the one individual question. It can be a level A, level B, or level C. So first quickly understand what is required from the question. Don't overdo it here. So most of the time what happens, they might be asking you to answer in a level A style, level A, but you might end up doing in level C, which is unnecessary. This happened to me. For my surprise, I wasted 10 minutes extra on one of those questions. What happens when you waste time? Then you are under the pressure to answer the remaining questions. So to manage your time better, read the question quickly and move on with that. Don't spend too much of time. And another tip what I can give you is, before you read the paragraph, I would recommend you to read all the sub questions and start writing directly on the text box provided in your exam. Don't try to put anything on a paper for essays at least, because that will simply waste your time. So why I'm saying don't read your essay first and start writing your questions, answering your sub questions is, most of the time it will simply ask you to simply test in level A also. So wherever there's a level A and B, most of the time you might not require you to read entire paragraph. You'll be able to answer them without reading also. Something like define what is, for example, define what is job costing. You don't need to read the paragraph. You already know the concept. You just put that, you just define and move on to the next one. Next one might test you level B, where it should require you to solve a sum. But here also, before reading paragraph, put all your framework that you need to answer it. So it will ask you to calculate operating income. So what is operating income formula, or how do you do that? Just put that operating income, your revenue less COGS, less than whatever required. If you put this framework in the formula manner, you are already covering most of the answer. Then you just need to plug in the numbers from the paragraph and you are done. Don't spend too much of time again, read the question again and again. So put all this way for all the sub questions. Then finally jump to your move to a essay paragraph to read. Now click on that and it will open. It will remain open for the long time. Then you can start read and plug in the numbers wherever in the sub questions required. That way you will save a lot of time. Okay. Now let's come back and show you a few things. The question that I was discussing. First question I see, sale of business and its impact when sold. So when you look at this, so unless you read the entire question, you will not be able to answer this. So this kind of things, you just skip it first, right? So that you can come back later. Just flag it. Don't miss to flag it. If you don't flag it, there's a high chances that you may miss to come back. Flag it and move on to the next one. So next one is like, what is the need of reviewing 3-year financial statements? This covers 50% of a general concept that you can put it before reading the paragraph. Try to put that. What are the advantages or the disadvantages, or why should we review the financial statements? I'll come back to this question clearly. What they are asking here in this scenario, at least, is there was a paragraph provided, and this question, the paragraph says about there was a business of they since few years, and they plan to divest this business, and there is a deal also, and the management decided to sell this business next year. For this year, when they decided to sell, and after selling it in the next year, right? What kind of impact in their accounts on the operating cash flows is what the first question they were asking. Sale of business and its impact when sold. There was a business. If you sell this business, what will happen? I mean, what kind of cash flow impacts the business may face? That you need to explain it here. Unless you see what they were generating, the cash flows, and what and all they have it already, you will not be able to answer it, right? So then the second one, when they sold this business, and there was a condition that buyer said, our accountant will review last 3 years of your financial statements, like your balance sheet, cash flows, and income statement. Upon successful review and his go ahead, the business deal will be continued, else deal will be cancelled. Though ask from the question here is, what is the need for that accountant to review 3 years of financial statements? This is not something directly you can pick it from the essay. Something you need to interpret the information and explain the advantages while reviewing financial statements, comparative financial statements. How does that help for anyone to take a business deal or decision of buying or not? Okay, I hope you got some idea about it. Then, should the controller consider opening a store with a given profit levels? So there was a different calculations provided there. The multiple business units at the stores, and it was asking to your opinion whether that controller can consider opening a store or not. How will you define this? You just need to see the profits, how they are generating it. Then Probability of profit with strong and weak conditions exist. When there are strong and weak conditions exist, how will a business will perform? What is the profit that it will generate? So you just need to calculate by putting all these numbers. This is, I would say, kind of simple, but your level B, you just need to pick the numbers and solve it. Then calculate operating income under flexible budget. So if you know how to calculate or what is flexible budget concept, you will be able to answer this. In this case, there's a trick also for you, right? So if you know the flexible budgeting system, you consider all the variable costs and flex them. Then add your fixed costs as it is. Don't flex your fixed costs because fixed costs will not change with any level of output, right? That might be a trick. Most of the cases we might miss it. Now, but overall, looking at these are the 5 questions.
Isn't that so good information for you to know before you attempt an exam? Yes, I know that. So to know more information or to get similar updates in future as well, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So that there is a subscribe button in the below. Just smash it so that you will get a regular and instant updates.
When you look at all these 5 questions, which section does this belong? Can you comment it? See, first one says sale of business and its impact, something like your business decisions in a section A. 3-year financial statements review, which is again your financial statement section A. Controller consider operating a store with a given profit levels. This kind of a generic. We just need to calculate some profit, what it is generating, and see and give your opinion. Probability of profit with strong and weak conditions exist. So which is probability testing in your budgeting and forecasting, which is section B. Calculate operating income under flexible budget. Which section? It's a kind of more of mixed, but predominantly it's from section A, right? So it's not necessary that it has to be tested any essay question only from one section. It can be combined in any of those parts. Don't be surprised if the same essay question contains one more sub question, that what are the controls they are missing in this scenario. Okay, so that can happen.
Hey, have you already attempted an exam recently? Or if you attempt your exam very soon, I would request you to share your experience as well in the below comment section, which can give more idea to other candidates who are going to appear in the next windows. Hope you will do that, your experience sharing.
Okay, let's jump to a second question. Okay, so for you to understand a little more detail, I made more bifurcation to understand what level it has tested this particular question. So first question, it's a level B. It require analysis level, and second one require level C, and it requires synthesis. And third question requires level A with comprehension level, and next question requires level B and application level. And the last question requires level B with application level. See, if you look at it, has been tested all the levels A, B, and C. Don't be under impression that your essays will be tested simple with a level A, where everything you can write it. If you are thorough with all your concepts, then level C also not a big deal for you to deal with these essays. All right, let's move on to the second question. What is regression analysis? Which section is this? Regression. Yeah. Okay. RI calculation, residual income calculation. If you know the formula, the concept, what is residual income and how to calculate it, just you can easily pick the numbers that required from there and put it here. And balance scorecard perspective. What is balance scorecard and what are the perspectives as part of balance scorecard? That's a full question. And this one, to be honest, you don't need to go through your essay at all. You will be able to write straight away. This is level A and knowledge, which require you to put it. This kind of things you should hit first without even attempting RI calculation. Though RI calculation is a simple, I would recommend you to write this kind of things first, then jump to this kind of questions. Okay, then which one is not presented in balance scorecard? This require you to read entire paragraph. What does this question means? Let me explain you a little more. The paragraph contains some KPIs which required in a balance scorecard, like your financial measurements, customer perspective measurements, internal process perspective, learning and growth perspective. These are the 4 perspectives of your balance scorecard, out of which some of them are missing. They were measuring few and they were not measuring few. So they were asking which perspective as a KPIs they have not presented in their business. So which require you to understand thoroughly. You need to read everything from top to bottom. Then you will be able to answer this. The next one, explain goodness of fit in regression analysis. Okay. I hope you know this. This is again just a simple explanation, which is a level A. Explain dependent variable and independent variables. How do they help in calculating sales forecast in this particular scenario? So here we just need to pick those numbers and explain here how this will help the independent variables, where y equals to a plus bx, and this what is dependent, what is independent, how do those help in calculating sales forecast, right? So this certainly kind of your level B, and this also covers level A, B, and C, and some of them require synthesis, some of them require just knowledge and comprehension, right? So these are the things has been covered in the recent exam window that I attempted, at least. Not necessary that you will also get the same questions for this window. The window will have many questions framed, and you might be tested with something new scenario or a different scenario. Not that you will also get the same, but you will get a same levels. Be aware that if you know that which level it will be tested and how to get prepared, this will give you an idea. The whole idea of this sharing of questions is just to give you an idea how it will be tested and to which level you should get prepared, right? If you need more this kind of tips, and if you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. And if you need more of these tips, stay tuned to this channel by subscribing it. And also I will share the latest links in one of the Telegram groups. So I'll provide that Telegram group link also, which is a CMA study group. I'll provide that link in the description. Do consider that joining, which will help you. All right. So all this question again, predominantly from section B. And I wish you good luck for your exam. All the best. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.